Yo, what's good, YouTube? Crow here, aka Scoop, back with the Pokemon Battle Federation, Season 6, and we are in the conference finals. Um, Last week, a little over a week ago, I uploaded, around a week ago, I guess. Yeah, I uploaded the quarterfinals of the Sun and Moon Conference, two different videos. I'll drop those links down below. You can check those out first and then come back to this video. Okay, and now, the winter, the winter, the winner of the Moon quarterfinals moves on to the semifinals, and that was Andy, coach of the St. Louis Carbinks. So we'll be facing him in the Moon conference finals, and the winner will go to the finals. So that's pretty hot. So our man Andy here has a very threatening draft. We'll talk about ours first. We have, as always, all season, no changes, except right after the draft, we traded Serp for Delmize, but we got Greninja, which is Protean, Celesteela, Zarda X, Clefable, Crocodile, Suicune, Delmize, Jolteon, Hitmonlee, Mesprit, and Swellow. And our man Andy has Mega Mawile, Mamoswine, Tornadus Therian, Volcanion, Salamence, the Chestnut, Nihilego, Reuniclus, Electros, Frostlass, and the Kamala. So yeah, pretty threatening squad. We're coming into the battle off a bye week, so we've lost a little bit of momentum. Not battling last week and finishing week 11 on a loss, although it was more of a fun match. Excuse me. We've finished 9-2, and yeah, coming into the battle with a 9-2 record. Andy is now 7-5 after winning last week, and he is looking to go 6-5. 7-5. He's looking to go 8-5, and then 9-5 and win the title. But I'm trying to do the same. So let's talk about our teams and our matchup here. So if you look at his team, it's not necessarily the fastest outside of Tornadus Therian and maybe Frostlass having a little speed. Then the rest are around base 100, and then Nihilego like right above that at like base 104 or something, 105 maybe. But yeah, he's got lots of different potential. He could run full offense with a lot of power, like Mega Mawile, Mamoswine, Tornadus, the Volcanion, and the Salamence, with something like Kamala Wish support, or maybe even Nihilego with like Toxic Spike support, so that he could get his rocks up, his Toxic Spikes up, and then just start using his offense to try to break down my team. And that looks actually pretty scary. This team is one of the scariest to face. I said it in week 4. We did play in week 4, and we came away with a 3-0 victory. We played in week 4, and his team hasn't changed either. So his team was the same then as it was now. And yeah, it's really scary. I said it the first time, the first 5 Pokemon on his team. It's just really hard to build a team that can switch into all of those. Like really hard to do that. So we do have like similar speed tiers, with having like 2 Pokemon that are really fast, and then like the rest are kind of meh. And then we both have like solid bulk and like really good checks to individual mons, but like trying to check them all is just almost impossible in this matchup. We have Greninja, which is really solid because it outspeeds his entire team. Jolteon and Swellow also outspeed his entire team, so that's really nice. I could run any of those 3 Pokemon with a boosting item, perhaps Wise Glasses special sets, or Expert Belt special sets, or like a specific stab, like for Swellow, for instance, a Silk Scarf, Boom Bursting Swallow, perhaps even a Specs set. Probably Specs would be a lot more damage output, but with Silk Scarf, I could bluff the Specs and U-turn out when I need to and whatnot. So that would be really nice. Greninja actually has a pretty solid matchup. He's got like Mamoswine drops to Surf, Tornadus to Ice Beam, Salamence to Ice Beam, Chestnut most likely to Ice Beam, perhaps Extra Sensory. Reuniclus drops to the Dark Pulse, Frostlass drops to the Dark Pulse, Nihilego Extra Sensory, Surf as well. And then other things are just hit neutrally, but just it's like still really good damage output, especially with like Expert Belt and being able to boost super effective moves. So that's pretty cool. Celesteela can kind of like check certain mons, but like Salamence could run like a Z fire type move. He's got the Volcanion, which could take advantage of me. Mega Mawile with a Thunder Punch. Tornadus with the Heat Wave. Electros just being an electric type. Being immune to Earthquake and any way that I would be able to hit it other than like Toxic and Leech Seed stalling it, and that would be kind of boring, and I don't like boring Pokemon. So, what else? Charizard actually is really good against him. He could set up a Dragon Dance and potentially sweep with Rocks Up as long as it's not a Choice Scarf Nihilego to revenge kill me. We'll talk about the first match in a minute. Speaking of a Choice Scarf Nihilego, with like Clefable is got a solid matchup. Like it can check Salamence and Chestnut and offensive Mamoswine to an extent. And it checks Calm Mind Reuniclus as well, especially if it runs Psyshock over Psychic. That would be more beneficial since I'll be more defensive if I ran a Clefable. Crocodile is pretty cool. It's got the Pursuit for things like Reuniclus and Frostlass. It's got Foul Play for things like Mamoswine and Salamence, and Earthquake for Nihilego, which is cool. Mega Mawile and Volcanion also don't appreciate the Earthquake. Could set up Stealth Rocks. Clef can also set up Stealth Rocks, and Greninja can also set up Spikes and Toxic Spikes, which is nice. I actually feel like I'm doing more of a draft analysis here, but it's actually what these Pokemon do well. They do well in this matchup, so that's cool. Even though the matchup isn't necessarily in either versus favor, I definitely think that some of the things that my Pokemon do best against his team. Like, let's just jump into it. So, last time, this is what Andy brought. Andy brought a, that's supposed to be apostrophe S, not apostrophe A. Andy brought a Volcanion with the Shuckleberry, Flamethrower, Steam Eruption, Defog, and Haze. This was kind of a more of an offensive bring that could still kind of check a Calm Mind Suicune. Does a lot of damage to Celesteela, Zard, Clef if it's not specially defensive, Crook, Delmise, Jolteon. Mind you, Jolteon outspeeds and it shouldn't be that threatened, but yeah, it does damage to Hitmonlee, Mesprit, Swallow, and like it's so powerful that it actually does damage to Greninja as well, so that's pretty important. So he runs max HP with a Shuckleberry, meaning he can most likely take an Earthquake from Crocodile, which is a bit unfortunate because first time I played him, I did bring an Assault Vest variant, and I actually survived the Flamethrower, so I don't expect him to click Flamethrower versus my Crook anymore. Most likely going to be the Steam Eruption. So yeah, that's pretty scary. If he brings it again, that is. So he brings this awesome Focus Sash, Stealth Rock, and Endeavor, Mamoswine with Earthquake and Ice Shard. This is pretty cool because he could set up Stealth Rocks against a Suicune lead, and as I bring him down to his Sash with Scald potentially, or just bring him low, it's definitely going to do over half. He could Endeavor and keep me at least half, so that would be cool. And if he's able to predict right and he gets the Endeavor on a turn where he's losing his sash, and he gets brought down to his sash, and he endeavors and brings one of my Pokemon down to 1%, he could then Ice Shard. So that was a pretty cool bring for our last match. And he brought Adamant, so boost the damage output over Jolly by quite a bit, actually. This is the Tornadus he brought last time. Interestingly enough, he's only outspeeding my Crocodile and not my Zard, which I think must have been edited, or my first Crook wasn't max speed, which that makes sense too, because I usually don't run a max speed Zard. So he's got the knockoff, Heat Wave, Hurricane, and U-turn. Hurricane's really hard for me to switch into without Celesteela or Jolteon, just coming in and taking a little bit of chip, potentially being confused, and then hit with a Heat Wave, Celesteela, and like Jolteon would force in Electros, and then he would get, as you can see, he would get off free Toxics and Thunders. He brings or Thunder Waves. He brings the Gastro Acid, which is pretty interesting, and he brings Volt Switch over U-turn, although I have a ground type, so that's interesting as well. And he's got the Mega Mawile he brought last time, which is pretty powerful, but he didn't bring max attack or anything like that. You actually don't need to with huge power, as long as you're in a Calc Shot. And like I said, he brought Choice Scarf and Nihilego last time, and I'm expecting that to come again this time. So let's see, what am I expecting to come again this time? Definitely the Nihilego. I think the Mega Mawile underperformed last time. I don't really see it coming again. Maybe a different type of Electros, maybe an Assault variant or Assault Vest variant. Maybe the same berry, the Papa Berry, so he can get his HP back. Maybe a Rest Talk set, that would be cool, with like U-turn and Thunderbolt. He could also run Tornadus is definitely coming in, because it's really fast and hits really hard, and it outspeeds everything on my team, bar 3 Pokemon, which is cool. I definitely think the Mamoswine's coming, and it's his likely rocker, and I definitely think the Volcanian's coming again. I do think he'll run a faster Volcanion this time, and let's see here. What did he not bring last time that could definitely come this time? Reuniclus, Salamence, and that's the 2 biggest threats. I didn't really expect the Frostlass to come. And okay, so yeah, that was his first squad, and here's our squad that we built for this match. We got a nearly max speed Greninja. This allows me to outpace. This allows me to outpace his Volcanion. His Tornadus Therian 100% of the time, unless it's Choice Scarf. And I'm running Expert Belt again. I think I ran this in our first match, and it was really scary, but it's going, like, this coverage is so good that I just have to bring the same exact Greninja again. Surf hits everything, and what Surf doesn't hit, Dark Pulse and Ice Beam hit. And I have the Water Shuriken. Excuse me. I think I'm catching a cold. I have the Water Shuriken because I expect the Nihilego to be Choice Scarfed, and I would like to I live 1 hit unless it's boosted, and I can click Surf into Water Shuriken for the knockout, which definitely picks up the knockout unless I get low rolls on Surf, and only get two Water Shuriken hits and low rolls on those as well. Ice Beam bops the Tornadus, Salamence, Chestnut, and I guess it does damage to neutral damage to Mamoswine and like Nihilego, all the others, but I do have super effective hits on Reuniclus and Frostlass with the Dark Pulse, and like I said, Surf hits basically everything else. And yeah, the Protean ability giving me same type attack bonus on all of my moves, and the Expert Belt to damage the super effective ones. So it's really nice this match, and the fact, like I said, I outspeed his entire team, which is really cool. So next up we got a max speed, max HP Zard. Like I said, I don't normally run these, but he has a Salamence, so I'd like to speed tie with that. I only needed 8 EVs in attack to Oko a Salamence with Dragon Claw after rocks, unless he's Intimidate, which I expect Moxie. I expect like if he brings Salamence, I expect a Moxie boosting Salamence. Even though I have Clefable, if he could put me in range of a Supersonic Sky Strike, then he could potentially knock me out and then sweep the rest of my team with a Moxie boost, which is pretty scary. So I'd like to always be able to speed tie with that, and Greninja always forces it to either switch out or die or pop a Chiachi or something, or a Sash or whatever. 8 EVs in attack also allows me to pretty much Oko and 2-hit KO everything on his team after one Dragon Dance, except for things like max defensive Reuniclus. If he's a Choice Scarf Nihilego, then it will outspeed me and Oko me with Power Gem potentially. Definitely after rocks, potentially just without even a boost. And Mega Maw Wall, Mammal Swine, everything weak to Flare Blitz drops to Flare Blitz, except for this is at neutral that I'm speaking of. Everything drops to Flare Blitz except max HP Chestnut and max defense, and like I said, max HP, max defense for Reuniclus, which is pretty cool. Everything else though, like after Dragon Dance, my Zard really runs through his team. If I got rocks up and there's gonna be no sashes, I got enough HP to survive a Sucker Punch. Tornadus Therian, I can set up a Dragon Dance on it and proceed to outspeed, knowing that I can guarantee live a Hurricane. Volcanion with max HP is a roll to knock me out with a modest Steam Eruption, modest max special attack Steam Eruption, which is pretty cool. I don't think I would risk that because if I lose Zard, then I could potentially lose a win condition. But yeah, really, this thing breaks through everything else. I guess he could run like a Choice Scarf Frostlass as well. Choice Scarf Nihilego and Choice Scarf Frostlass with like Frost Breath, which is a 100% crit. 100% crit, all the time. It's all the time a crit. So he could run that and be a way, like a means of offensively checking Zard, which would be cool. But yeah, I really think Charizard can put in the work. So we'll see. We got Clefable here with their Unaware set with leftovers. I got the Stealth Rock, Moonblast, Wish Protect, pretty standard set. I run this on OU all the time, but my EVs are a little bit different. So I got enough defense to take on Mammal Swine as long as it's not Life Orb or Banded or Metronome. So yeah, that's pretty important. I can also take a Supersonic Sky Strike from Salamence, and obviously it's Dragon Dance boost or Moxie boost wouldn't matter because I'm unaware. So I can take a Supersonic Sky Strike from Salamence, and I have enough special attack investment to Oko Salamence after Stealth Rocks, and then I just dump the rest in special defense because it better takes Volt Switch from Electros, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball from Frostlass, and I guess to an extent like Flamethrower or Steam Eruption for Volcanion, and like Tornadus Therian's Hurricane, but it's not really going to be looking to switch into the last two of said mons. And yeah, his only resist to Moonblast is Nihilego and Mega Maw Wall, which they don't appreciate the chip in conjunction with Stealth Rock and like having to take hits from my other mons. And most of my mons, well, not mine. Let me rephrase that. Greninja always being able to revenge kill basically all of his hugest threats, as long as they're not like a Choice Scarf boosting Nihilego. So yeah, that's pretty cool for Clefable there. Next up we got King Crooked here, which has enough HP investment, special defense investment to take hits from Nihilego as long as it's not running Hidden Power Ice or Grass Knot. Can take hits from pretty much Nihilego all day, as long as I don't have either of those two moves. It's pretty comfortable switching to Reuniclus, bar like Focus Blast and Signal Beam. But even then, I can take it. Like, it's going to be a 2-hit KO at best. Best case scenario, if he's like Modest Life Orb or something, it's going to be a 2-hit KO. He's never OKOing me, unless he's like boosted. Electros, it's not doing much. I guess U-Turn could do chip damage and whatnot. He could potentially Toxic me. Frostlass can't OKO me with, unless it's like very offensive. But if it is offensive, then it's like, it's not my biggest problem. So I don't expect it to be like an offensive variant, more like a Will-O-Wisp spike setting Destiny Bond set if he brought it. So yeah, I can just pop it with the knockoff or the foul play. It's also like if I can, if he's running like a slow Salamence that would outspeed, say, Swellow after a Dragon Dance, then I could potentially outspeed with my 80 speed EVs. I can, I'm also, what am I speed creeping? I think I'm speed creeping Mega Mawile because I have enough defensive investment to live a Play Rough after an Intimidate and outspeed it and bop it with the Earthquake. And I'll be able to get 2 Earthquakes off. And Play Rough into Sucker Punch shouldn't be able to knock out if he's intimidated. So yeah, that's pretty cool. A Foul Play does more to Mamoswine than knockoff after its items gone, and potentially all around. And the Earthquake just generally bops everything, like Nihilego, Volcanion. His only real switch in would be like his Levitate mons, like Tornadus, Salamence, Electros, or his Chestnut, which his Chestnut's actually a huge problem for Crook individually, but I do have like Clefable and Zard, so Chestnut shouldn't be too big of a problem. Next up, we got Suicune. Just a check to Volcanion, basically. You got enough special defense investment and HP investment to take hits for days. Enough defensive investment to actually take hits from Mamoswine, Salamence, as long as it's not boosted. Same for Nihilego, as long as it's not boosted. Can take hits from those for days. Can take hits to, I'm 2-hit KO'd by Thunder Punch from Mega Mawile. I can throw off a Toxic on Reuniclus, Electros, anything that's slower can get hit with a Toxic, potentially sub-Toxic stall something with Protect and Scald, so that's pretty cool. I'm running a little bit of speed investment. I outspeed the Mega Mawile this time because I don't want to be 2-hit KO'd before I get, the chip off, so that's important. But I'm not running enough speed to outspeed Volcanion or like a Adamant Mamoswine, so those two mons could be problematic. Yeah, we'll just talk more about it into the battle in a minute. So next up, last but not least, we have to have some kind of a hazard removal, and this thing was the best in my opinion because it gets big hits off on things like Reuniclus, and has like Anchor Shot, which is pretty cool. It 2-hit KOs Mega Mawile unless he's like really bulky, so that's cool. If he packs the Frostlass as a lead, if he brings the Frostlass, I'm going to lead off with my Greninja and prevent any kind of like Toxic Spikes or anything like that just by clicking Dark Pulse. And if he is like Destiny Bond, then, or Focus Sash, I could taunt him first, predicting a Focus Sash, and then 2-hit KO with Dark Pulse. But that's scary though because he could run Mental Herb instead of the Focus Sash, and then it becomes mind games, so it's pretty scary. But basically what I'm saying is I don't want this thing to be poisoned by Toxic Spikes from Nihilego, Frostlass, whatever it may be. I don't want it. But yeah, I suppose we can go ahead and hop into the battle from here. I guess my special defense investment allows me to live hits from Volcanion pretty well, unless it's Flamethrower. So yeah, we'll hop into the battle now. Alright, so here we are in the battle, and he chooses to bring pretty much the same thing as last time, except instead of Mega Wall, he brings the Salamence. Yeah, kind of foreseeing the possibility of that happening. I also thought Reuniclus could come, and Frostlass, like I mentioned. But definitely expected the Mamoswine, Torn, Volcanion, definitely those, and Nihilego to offensively check Zard. So definitely expected that. We brought the team, as we mentioned in the team builder just a few seconds ago. So yeah, we're hop into the battle here. Looking at matchup, I thought in the back of his mind, our last battle would be there in the back of both of our minds, and it was definitely in the back of my mind. I don't know if it was in the back of his, but yeah, last time he led Volcanion, and I led with Suicune because Suicune takes nothing. It prevents rocks and toxic spikes from getting up easily. You know, can definitely just throw off a Scald versus those two rock setters, being Mamoswine and Nihilego. And kind of predicting him to predict that and lead Volcanion last time, so I led Suicune, which was my best lead, predicting Volcanion, Mamoswine, really anything. So yeah, I'm going to predict him to predict me to lead Suicune again, and I predict him to lead off with something like Electros or maybe Tornadus to just U-turn out or Volt Switch out on my Suicune. And I'm going to lead Crook and try to prevent that, anything weird from happening. If he led with the Electros, I would click Taunt. I do have the Taunt. Taunt and then Knockoff would be my play. Taunt into Knockoff would definitely be my play. Then I would have, if he hard switched out, I would get rid of an item or potentially know that Salamence was a Z-move user or something like that. He leads with the Volcanion though, and I was thinking here about clicking Earthquake, but last time we played he was Shukaberry, so I was predicting maybe he was Shukaberry again. So I didn't want to click Earthquake here, and was likely going to get bopped with a Steam Eruption. Maybe him predicting me to get my rocks up, or predicting me to be Assault Vest, and knowing that Steam Eruption would still do a fuck ton. So yeah, staying in is definitely not my play. I'm going to hard switch out into Suicune. And I'm going to try to get some valuable information, which I do. He is Steam Eruption. He gets a crit here, reveals to be modest, max special attack most likely, and he reveals to be faster than me. So I know his speed tier. I know he's faster than Suicune. I know he's faster than Crocodile. I know he's faster than my Delmize and Clefable. But yeah, that's the extent of that. He's not faster than Zard or Greninja. I know that for a fact. So now we're both behind a sub, and he's faster than me. So my plan to Toxic this thing and wear it down has been saw through. It's what I did last game, so it makes sense that he didn't allow it to happen twice and brings a different Volcanion to actually capitalize on the Suicune that I would bring. But he did lose 2 Steam Eruptions, and anytime I bring in Suicune, anytime I bring in any Pokemon, I'm going to predict him to go for the Steam Eruption, and I'm going to go back into Suicune until he is out of Steam Eruptions, and then I can comfortably stay in with Crocodile, knowing how much damage that did to Zard revealed that it was Hidden Power Fire. So, Hidden Power Electric, because anything else doesn't matter. It wouldn't make sense to do damage to Suicune. So, here, I finally get Crocodile in, and I predict him to go for the Hidden Power Electric or the Toxic on this turn. And he actually does go for the Toxic as I get the Crook in. He goes for sub while he was behind a sub, trying to rack up toxic damage because he thought he would be slower than me. Meaning I would break his sub, he would sub up on the same turn, and I would take toxic damage, and then on the following turn I would click Earthquake, breaking his sub, and he would sub up again, and toxic damage would rack up even further. But I'm in fact slower, so his sub failed, and my earthquake broke his current sub. So now he's forced to attack me, and I know this, and I can go into Suicune here and waste 2 more Steam Eruption, or I can go to Delmas here and just waste 1 Steam Eruption. I didn't think he would go for Toxic on this turn, so I definitely went into Suicune 1 more time, and I can just throw off a Protector, get a little HP back, and not really fear this thing being behind the sub that much, because I know how I have to break it. Here I'm going to go into Crocodile on the Hidden Power, and I'm going to not switch into Suicune on this turn, predicting another Hidden Power Electric. But he actually goes for the Steam Eruption, meaning he actually has 1 more, and he can go for the Toxic here as I break his sub. But he's revealed his entire set, and he doesn't have Flamethrower, so I'm free to just click Shadow Claw here. It does 46%, which is still a fuck ton without Choice Band. And he goes for Hurricane. I didn't have any switch-ins, so I just let Delmas go down, and now I have to prevent rocks from getting up. So that's the main goal now, is prevent rocks from getting up. And I can Revenge Kill this thing. It did reveal Life Orb, so I don't fear it to be faster. And I can just click Dark Pulse and knock it out from that range. He did bring a minus PBF nature, and I kept that in mind this game, knowing that Dark Pulse would kill, Surf would likely kill, Surf and Dark Pulse would likely kill Tornadus at 50% or less. So yeah, just click Dark Pulse there. Zygarde takes 41%. Zygarde. That's funny because Andy actually calls it Zygarde sometimes by mistake because he nicknames it that. Electros takes 41%, goes for the Giga Drain, doing 22% to my Clef. So he knows I'm not that specially defensive now. I get my rocks up, which means Volcanion's going to be done, and Mamoswine, Tornadus, and Salamence are taking 25% when they come in. Well, Mamoswine takes 12 because it's part ground type. But still, that's nice. So I'm just going to Wish Protect and get my HP back up. He did around 50% with Earthquake, so I know he's adamant, and he didn't reveal Life Orb, which means I can take him on. Unless he's Metronome, which would be scary as well. But he did switch it up to Stealth Rock there, so he would lose his any kind of attack boost he was getting there. And I'm just gonna throw off another Wish here, and can comfortably go into Crocodile now, knowing I'll get the Wish back and can live any one hit, even a Hidden Power Ice or Grass Knot there, and get the Wish back. So, and proceed to live it again, which would be nice. Here, I knew he was gonna sack off his Volcanion, but I really had no other play. I wanted to make sure that Nihilego doesn't come in for free. So if I went out to Clefable predicting the Volcanion sack so that he couldn't go into something like Salamence or Mamoswine again, it would force his Nihilego back in. So I just wanted to keep that thing off the field for now, unless I want to make sure it has no boost whenever my Greninja's trying to knock it out, basically. Or Crook, for that matter. So here he's definitely going to go out to his Mamoswine and try to put me in range of Nihilego, but I can't allow that to happen yet. I'm just going to sack off my Suicune here. I could have went into Zard there predicting the Earthquake, but rocks are up and I would be at 1%, so Ice Shard would knock me out anyway. So I have to go into Clefable here and just get a little chip off on this thing. I'm at a range where if I click Protect here, I'll be out of range of the following Earthquake. So he makes a good play there and switches out to Nihilego, capitalizing on that, and goes for the Sludge Wave. So here I'm going into Crocodile 100%, because I know this Nihilego has to be Choice Scarf, or else Zard runs through his team with rocks up. So I know he's Choice Scarf, so I can go into Crocodile pretty comfortably here, not take any damage from anything. Sludge Wave, Grass Knot, boy. Okay, so he got me with the Grass Knot. So definitely got to Revenge Kill this thing immediately. Go into my Grin and click Surf, praying that it wasn't the Pasho Berry, and he reveals to not be the Pasho Berry. So here he goes into Electros, and I have to choose between what I want to sack off there, because I don't want Greninja taking damage yet, and I'm just going to sack off my Zard. Didn't want him volt switching into Mammal Swine or anything like that. And he goes into Tornadus here. So now I'm just going to go into Green again and click Iceman. Because after Stealth Rocks, everything is in range of stab, of any base 90 move with stab. So now Greninja's just going to clean up the game pretty comfortably, as long as Salamence wasn't Choice Scarf there. Like Adamant Choice Scarf, Salamence could have knocked me out there. So yeah, Greninja's going to be showing why it's busted and sweeping through the team. I actually think if I were Expert Belt Torrent Grin, that would have been the same outcome there, or Wide Glasses Torrent Grin would have had the same outcome in this match. But yeah, Greninja just showing like its speed, its coverage, its protein ability is it's just so busted. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game to our boy Andy, and yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the prep on both sides in the battle, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Alright guys, so I forgot to mention the Sun Conference Finals will be happening this week. And we have it's Snorlaxus and his San Diego Snorlax at the number 1 seed, taking on the number 2 seed, Sebi VGC and his Montreal Monfernos. So yeah, take a look at the matchup here. We got the first 2 teams are obviously one team, and the second 2 teams are the other team. And yeah, we have Greninja, Battlebond, Greninja, Landorus, Therian, Mega Venusaur, Sylveon, Victini, Registeel, Gengar, Terrakion, Vikavolt, Latios, however you want to say it, Porygon 2, taking on Porygon Z, Tapu Fini, Mega Latios, Ferrothorn, Buzzwole, Gliscor, Magnezone, Alola Marowak, Sneasel, Staraptor, and Tentacruel. Almost said Porygon Z again. So we got Porygon 2 versus Porygon Z with Snorlaxus versus Sebi, the San Diego Snorlax versus the Montreal Monfernos. So let me know who you think's going to win by matchup here. If you know the coaches personally, I guess you could keep that in mind too when making your prediction. So yeah, let me know who you think's going to win. I'm definitely going to be trying to record that live. And yeah, so once that battle, the winner of that battle will play me in the finals. So yeah, looking forward to that. And yeah, pretty hyped. So yeah, let me know in the comments who you think's going to win. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.